When people ask you the question, what are your fears? They would usually say some relatively common stuff. Spiders, the dark, heights. That's not what I'm here for right now. I'm here for some of the most random things that I fear. When I mean fear, I mean that this is something that is constantly in my mind when I feel like I'm in a situation where it could happen. Like, I know that it most likely wouldn't happen, but you can't stop me from feeling this certain way. I think I need help. Number 1. Bugs. I know this is common, but let me elaborate on that, because I've had a lot of experience encountering bugs, and it's affected me to the highest degree. In my old house, we had a bug infestation. It was a very old house, even at the time. Worst part, it was in my bedroom, and I guarantee you that I have seen countless bugs. There were certain times where I was just chilling in bed on my phone, and then I look over and I see a bug. I ran down the stairs yelling at my mom, "Mom, the bug's back again!" My parents are a lot more adapted to bugs than I am, because they're born in the Philippines, a more exotic environment than Canada, so it's usually a lot more packed with creatures. My parents are fearless of bugs, they just kill them without any hesitation. Me, I can't even stay in the same room with one without checking it every few seconds to make sure it doesn't stay out of my sight. You know, even though we've moved out of that old house, I still see bugs in my new house, and they're huge! I feel like I keep seeing them so much when I'm alone, so my parents aren't able to kill them. Because of this, I've kept the habit of being very paranoid of any bugs that may appear. If I see a dot in the corner of my eye, I immediately assume it's a bug. I constantly have to look behind me because what if there's a huge tarantula right there? This is a serious problem. Number 2. Lizards. Lizards give me a similar fear to bugs. It all began last year when I went with my mom to the Philippines. You know, a more exotic place than Canada, so I saw lots of critters, and it was not fun at all. Despite it being hot there, I got the luxurious air conditioner, so I felt safe and cooled. Everything was going okay until I was scared for my life and I hid under the covers until I no longer saw it anymore. But they kept coming back, and coming back again. It was an actual nightmare. Who would have thought that a single creature such as a lizard could terrify me in ways I never thought could as much as insects? They still terrify me to this day. I'm never going back to the Philippines. Number 3. Mirrors. Okay, let me explain. I'm not afraid of mirrors anymore, but when I was a kid, I was so scared of my reflection, especially at night. I always had this inner thought that my reflection is staring right back at me, and I kept thinking, what if my reflection doesn't copy my movements? What if my reflection jumps out and scares me? I don't have this fear anymore, but the hallway leading to my bedroom had a mirror, and I had to keep looking the other way when I passed it. When the lights are off, it's 10 times scarier. In real life, it looks like this, but in my perspective, it looks like this. Thank goodness I'm no longer afraid of mirrors, but I must tell you, this minor fear held on for years. Number 4. Meeting someone I know in public. I guess you could say this is a very specific thing that falls under the category of social fear, which I also have, but this certain scenario is one of the worst things that could ever happen, and it is incredibly awkward. Like, what would you do in this situation? I mean, if it's a friend, then I guess it's some sort of, wow, didn't expect to see you here. But imagine that person being someone you know, but you're not close to them. The several times that this has happened usually went like this. You look at someone while walking in public. That person looks like someone you recognize. You get a closer look at them and realize that this is someone you do know. That both of you make eye contact, and you immediately look away, trying to pretend they're not there and also try to avoid walking near them without making it look obvious. Usually it's a very short moment, but there was this one time where it was way worse than normal. I had just finished my ortho appointment, and suddenly a very specific person, one of my old friends in elementary school, came into the room. I was sitting in the waiting room until my parents would come to pick me up. They sat down, and we made eye contact for a moment. I would also like to inform you that this happened in late 2020, so we were all still wearing masks at the time, which was so convenient. If we weren't wearing masks, they'd easily recognize me and it'd be over. I was so scared because I didn't want my parents to show up while they were there. Otherwise, they'd know that it was me. Because they know what my parents look like. My heart was pounding and I internally exploded. Luckily, the receptionist called them down and they left before my parents showed up. So it was all good. But imagine how bad that could have been. I do not want to deal with awkwardly meeting an old friend. After that moment, I've been checking the waiting room every time I visit for an appointment. It never happened then, and I was so relieved. Number 5. Forgetting something. One of the reasons why I don't like leaving my house, besides socializing, is that I'll forget to bring something, or I'm afraid to lose something. Whenever I pack my things ready to leave home, I always double check to make sure that I have everything, and that I still have everything before I head home. But I'm always very vigilant. Even if I'm only bringing my phone, every few seconds I tap my pocket to make sure it's still there. Or easier, I put my hand in my pocket. but it's a lot worse if I'm bringing multiple things. I write a checklist to keep track of everything I'm bringing, and I check it again to make sure everything's still here. It's just like a teacher taking attendance. But let's say it's for school. There's always a specific amount of things I need to bring every day, but I'm so paranoid of forgetting to bring something. Like, I worry that I'll forget to bring my computer, or my pencil case, or my keys. The bad thing is that I'm too lazy to remind myself. I always say, I should remember, but one day it'll turn against me and I'll be sad for the rest of the day. And believe me, I felt miserable for forgetting to bring my backpack. So, I guess I just never learn. I'm sure there's a lot of other fears I have, but these ones are the ones that get me the most. So I guess people will now know what my worst nightmare would be. A room with one bug, one lizard, a mirror in the dark, an awkward situation with someone you don't know a lot about, and holy crap, I forgot to grab the fly swatter!